Hello, welcome to it. It is approximately 9:57 a.m. Central Standard Time on Monday, June 3rd, 2019. Overview of the temps. North America, down South America. Cuba, 90 degrees. East Coast, 70. Southern East Coast, 87. Gulf, 86. Arizona, Texas, 76. West Coast, 61. Down there, that's LA, Santa Barbara area. They've been having flooding. Moving north, 70, 69, and then getting up further north, 48, 47. We've had some pockets of temperature anomalies lately, including this recent frost advisories we had over the last few nights up here in northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and northern Michigan. I might have gone too far south there with Michigan. It's probably more like this right here. Anyway, in the last couple days, there were frost advisories there. I tried to look up some historical temperature data, and it's really almost impossible to find. That was what I figured out. National Weather Service advertises a product for historical or past temps, but actually trying to dig the data up is, I found to be very difficult. From a local news source, northern Minnesota, it was reported on Sunday morning, which was yesterday, June 2, record low temperatures were reported in International Falls and Hibbing. So let's figure out where International Falls is right there. International Falls in the center of your screen. And Hibbing, oh, down here. So we're kind of seeing these strange kind of like temperature anomalies where, you know, it'll be warmer in the northern area than it is, or yeah, warmer in the northern area than it is in the southern area. I guess I kind of tend to expect that. You know, down here in Hibbing, well, it's still pretty far north, but I guess some of the temps that I've been seeing is, for example, this northern area here, warmer than this area down here, which is further south. I guess I would expect it to be warmer, but frost advisories in June, a little strange. Back to the news article. We had International Falls and Hibbing here, 29 degrees and 28 degrees overnight. So that would be frost, killing frost. From the National Weather Service Duluth, a chilly morning. Hibbing and International Falls had record low temps this morning. International Falls dropped to 29 degrees Fahrenheit and Hibbing to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. The old records were 30 degrees Fahrenheit at the Falls and 31 degrees Fahrenheit at Hibbing. So again, we're seeing more and more new records or old records falling. I'm not big on records because who knows? All I know is that the best science is what we observe with our senses in real time. So let's go to the radar and look at the weather right now. Actually look like kind of another clear morning, much like yesterday, over most of the United States. We kind of just have some little bit here north of Denver, Craig and Steamboat Springs areas. Let's see what else we have over here. The system's been moving through kind of a similar thing that was at the foothills of the Rockies yesterday. This thing right here has been kind of just moving slowly, kind of this way and this way. Some severe thunderstorm activity in that Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska City, Auburn. Certainly don't need any more rain, and it looks like it's on track for Des Moines, Iowa, and they certainly don't need any more rain. A little bit in through here, a little precipitation. We could look at the expected precipitation, but it takes too long right now. Basically, we have more water than usual everywhere. So looks like this is kind of dissipating over Texas, which is good. Let's look at what the computer says is going to happen in the future with the system. So there's 11:30, just kind of slowly meandering. 12, 1 o'clock, or almost 2 o'clock. Let's see where it's at. It's almost to Des Moines, still over Omaha. So this is kind of another one of those, you know, storms we're having up until yesterday for the last month. These kind of larger storms that just kind of cover a couple states and keep moving, even though this is still smaller than those multiple supercells that we were seeing a week ago. So let's see what else is going on here in the future. Computer guess. And the computer is guessing that this is going to blow up a little bit here. Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. And this does not look good. Now, just remember, these are guesses, so this is subject to change. This is future prediction from the computer. This down here looks pretty crazy. Looks like a spinning hurricane type front. Let's watch that for a second. And we could probably look up hurricane watch information and see. Well, let's just speed this up for a second here. So this is around 1 o'clock in the Gulf of Mexico. It looks like it's just getting bigger until the time runs out there. If you ever look at the computer models for down by the Antarctic coast, there's constant, basically spinning hurricane type cells down there. It's pretty crazy. Let's get back on track here. So that's what the computer's guessing for about 4:48 p.m. Still not as bad as what we have been seeing a little bit over here in California. Let's go to, since we did look at that possible hurricane thing, let's hurricane tropical storm water temperature. Let's take a look at that and see if it's actually showing it as a hurricane. But it's not, I don't think. Water temp, about, looks pretty cool actually, the yellow, or, well, it could either be, looks like it's in between that yellow, which is like 35 degrees Fahrenheit, and that gold, which is like 80. So that's kind of a hard one to interpret. All right, let's get back to let's get the show back on the road here. Let's turn this one off. Maybe. Water temp off. Hurricane storm off. And let's see. Let's go back to, we don't need the temp. Let's go to earthquakes and severe weather alerts and see what's up. This is what most people tune in for, all my faithful listeners. Earthquakes and the usual suspects. We have still small craft advisories, I'm sure, over here in Medford, Oregon area up and down the coast. That is starting to shrink a little bit. Still records mountain snowpack melt, river flooding in Nevada, Pocatello, Idaho Falls, Ketchum, Haley. Bigger section over here than usual. Malta. Looks like it could be affecting Interstate 84 and 86 there. You can see there's a river there. Here's the mountainous areas. Probably run off from there, I'm assuming. You know, and a lot of this stuff, sometimes you gotta take it with a grain of salt, and not always. Looks like that storm cleared up from last night without a lot of flooding. Here we have some, these are kind of new, I think. This looks exactly like that record mountain snowpack melt river flooding as the record snowfalls in the mountains begin to melt. We get downhill river flooding. So that's in Antonito, in between Mancos, in between Cortez and Durango, and near Grand Junction. You can see the river there. That's kind of cool. You can actually see it, and you can see it's a, you know, it's the mountains, and it's coming down. It looks like maybe this might be the peak of the mountain, and it looks like it might be running down this way, the backside or the front side, and this way towards the east. And you can see these dry riverbeds. I mean, this isn't a dry riverbed, but you can see the geography there. How it's at one time in the past, there was a lot of water going through here. You can see the water probably came here, and it hit something here, and it carved here, and probably swirled, and then it found a way here. You can follow these down, and the crazy thing about humans is that they tend to build their cities. You can see right here, this river used to go from here to here. This is the riverbed. You can see it. And so this was all water coming down. And the crazy thing, and now, you know, the water's reduced. So it's just only this little blue river that we see here now. But the crazy thing about humans is they build their roads and their cities in these old riverbeds. And it looks like kind of strange how it's stopped. Oh yeah, so you can see the way that everything's draining here. I'm guessing, I don't have a topographical elevation map, but you can see like basically water running down here, 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 here. So this is probably the high point, the apex, the ridge. Here, water has carved out. Here's a big one. At some point, water was carving through there. And now, for some reason, oh yeah, probably all these are draining down to this river. It's getting filled up full, and it's heading this way. That's most likely what's happening. You know, and it's just, we got to figure all this stuff out for ourselves because we've been kept in the dark for so long. But yeah, we've got record snowpacks this summer now, spring, summer. They're building up on the mountains. We're having snows and they're starting to melt down. So here's the mountain. Here's the melt off. And it's coming towards you, Grand Junction. So be ready, be prepared, because I just honestly think most of us have no idea what's possible. This is strange, a little strange anomaly here, earthquake in the middle of Oklahoma. Oh, it's a 2. That's pretty big. 5 kilometers southeast of Tuttle, 2 hours ago, 8:30 a.m. And it's not far from Norman. 2 is pretty big. I'd like to look that up and see if anybody got affected by that. But we need to stay on alerts right now. Get across the country here. Air quality Dallas. Flood advisory for San Angelo after the thunderstorms they had last night, and they're still getting some more today. We got weather statement, winds and riptides, probably air quality alert. River flooding here. Galveston, Houston. River flooding here. Shreveport, Louisiana. Houston, Galveston. That's the cities: Lufkin, Liberty, Madisonville, Huntsville, Palestine. If you're in those areas, you might be affected by some of that, trying to get around. Now, kind of what we're seeing here with these is this is developing because this has been our flood, middle of the country flood region through here, right? Well, look what's happening. It's expanding because now it's coming over here to East Texas. We've got this, little popcorns starting to come up. All of these in here, these are kind of new. Could just, I don't know, if it's from just those storms I went through and it'll go down hopefully, or if this is new developments, because we've got these rivers, and they're all draining into the Mississippi. So that's new because that widens the middle of the country area that's flooding, river flooding. It used to just be here. And now you can see we're expanding here with earthquake right in the middle of it. So, this gets into stuff that nobody understands or knows about, that I know of, but probably somebody does, but, they don't, it's not talked about a lot. It's not common knowledge. It's not known. It's not taught. They teach us that the center of the earth is a magma thing, float hot lava. I don't know what they teach anymore, but basically what we're seeing is water levels rising, and whatever reason you want to attribute that to, it really doesn't matter. But what we're seeing is that surface water is volumizing. It's getting bigger, expanding, new lakes popping up in places. I want to do a video on that, even a book, but it's too much for this. Just the main thing is, if you're by a river, if you're by a tributary to the Mississippi, you need an emergency action plan, because these things can fill up quick, and when you're not expecting it. It gets to the point where the groundwater is so saturated that it just takes a little bit of rain to cause some flooding. So beware, be alert, as you are. If you weren't, you wouldn't be watching this. But also, encourage other people to get informed. But, you got to decide they're either going to listen or they're not. And if there are people who don't want to hear it, they'll hate you if you keep telling them about it. So that's been my experience. I don't want to cause any divorces. I'm trying to warn people. So Mississippi, what is some floodgate that they hardly ever open. They've only opened it twice. And basically it's been there, Morgana, I think it's called. Basically it's been there for a long time, keeping, I think, New Orleans from going under. The thing about New Orleans is I'm pretty sure it's under sea level. It sits under sea level. So, maybe they wanted it to be one of those like Venice, where you go to the buildings in a boat. I don't know. But basically this dam or levee or whatever, that somewhere around here, they're talking about opening it. And, otherwise what could happen is the Mississippi could divert and go a different way. That's my understanding. I got to research it. But basically what people who study the sun and space weather are saying, I've heard it from a couple different people, is that the Mississippi is going to divert. It's going to choose a new direction. Is that possible? Have we seen that? Yeah, we've been seeing rivers, like over here in the Nebraska floods. We saw earlier this spring, we saw rivers just make new paths. Sometimes